Maurice, obviously a really good performance the other night. You must have come away from Bloomfield Road proud but disappointed you didn't at least score.
Yeah, it seems to be the kind of narrative or the kind of storyline since we've come in the building. I think, bar the Oxford game, I think it's been 50-50 games as we've been how we've performed in the games. Sometimes it's fell for us, sometimes it hasn't, which more often than not it hasn't, which can be frustrating. But as a staff and as a football club, I think as long as it's mathematically possible, we're still going to prepare the team to the best of our ability. You can clearly see we have buy-in from the players, and sometimes in football the result's the imposter. We gave so much on Tuesday night to the game, and I think to any neutral watching that, it could be a team, 8th and 10th playing against each other. There was nothing between in the game, and I think the level of quality and the level of personality, considering the manager questioned those things in the 2 previous matches, shows as a group we're together and we're going to take this down to the wire if we need to.
And this is a young group who are making their way in, some of them making their way in professional football for the first time, having moved over from Ireland. Some are lone players making their way in the game. Getting that sort of knit to win games regularly is hard, isn't it, with a young group, do you think?
I always look at, are you creating chances? Are you limiting your opponents to less chances? And I think most weeks we're there or thereabouts. Whether the ball goes in the bottom corner or past the post, it's in the moment, it's in the execution. So our job as coaches and staff is to heighten those chances of scoring and to limit the chances of goals going against you. Sometimes some teams score great goals. I do think we've been very unlucky in terms of decisions going against us. I mean, the last 2 games before the Blackpool game, we had a 1v1 in the first 20 minutes of Oxford, 1v1 in the first 20 minutes of the Blackpool game. And if they go in, you're potentially looking at 2 victories. But it's like I say, the result's the imposter. I think for the first 30 minutes at Oxford, we actually played quite well. And you find yourself 2-0 down, you're like, how's this happened? And again at Blackpool, I thought we were the better side for the big spells of the game. And we've lost 1-0, so it's quite frustrating. But at this stage of the season, we can't get too hung up on that. We've just got to prepare the team as best we can and keep fighting and keep showing that desire to go and win a football match.
Do you wish you'd had a bit more time this season? Maybe come in a bit earlier?
Yeah, you can wish your life away. We haven't, but what we've done is we've came in, we've dedicated ourselves each day to make a group of players believe in each other again, which I think was difficult. It took a month to get that, because it's difficult to come in and change something overnight, because at the end of the day there was trust issues I felt when we came in.
The players in each other?
Yeah, just trusting themselves. At the end of the day, a team's made up of 11 individuals, so if you don't trust yourself, how are you going to trust your teammate? So it was about building up kind of trust in each player, showing what they're good at, re-emphasising it on a daily basis, through video, through chats. And I think you see a bunch of boys there that are doing right by their teammates. And I always say to players, be a good teammate. Be a good teammate, you've got half a chance. I think when you start to see cracks appearing is when you're losing games, for instance, when people start going insular, start thinking about themselves and know what's beneficial for the group. So we're quite big on that. And I've really enjoyed this challenge with the coaching staff. I think we've given it everything. The players have responded. Whether you win 1-0 or you lose 1-0, it's moments in games. But I like our approach. I like how we're going about our business. I'm talking about players, by the way. No us. And we're looking forward to Saturday.
Did you have to change the sort of culture of the team, the club, when you came in? What was it like when you came in? You've touched upon the trust issues. Were there other issues there, do you think?
Well, I can't speculate. All I see is when I look at a player's eyes, and I sometimes test players, or we as staff test players by asking them, how do you think you've done today? And the British mentality typically is we want to go humble and, oh, I did okay. Well, no. You were better than okay. And here's why. Show them on the video, show them in the training. I mean, we tape the training sessions every day. We go through it after training with a fine-tooth comb to show players what they're good at and what good looks like. Sometimes it's maybe not so great a clip, but then I show them, like Ross and I will bring them in and the manager will talk through meetings that, well, that is not as bad as you thought. So it's about building them up, especially when you're bottom of the league, because if they're sitting 7th in the league, there's a different mentality in the building. Even though you're performing like a mid-table team, but the result's not against you, it still doesn't detract from the fact that you've performed well. And against Blackpool the other night, I don't think we had a bad performance. Even the subs coming on were fantastic. But I think there's an honest group, really honest, and it's a group that we all really enjoy working with. And there's players that have gotten better since I see in their day-to-day habits. I mean, Promise, for instance, has lost 6 kilos since we've come in. You know, that's day-to-day habits. So you see the product on a Saturday, but it's your Monday to Friday that makes you a better footballer. And this is what we focus on.
It feels to me like you see this as a really long-term project. I know in the short term you've got a relegation battle to fight, but these are all the foundations for a long-term project that can make this football club grow and come back and be better if you do get relegated.
I'm very confident of that. No matter what league you're in, your day-to-day culture it drives it. So there's accountability on the players' behalf. It's owning their own. At the end of the day, and a football player is his own business, he's his own company. He's got to run that, he's got to drive that himself, and if it doesn't, it will fail. So even though they're teammates, it's 11 individuals that need, or 22 individuals, whatever you want, that need to prepare and give themselves the best chance of success. And it's us marrying all that together. So I think we've got a good nucleus of players there. Of course, you're going to lose the loan players, which is a shame because we've got some good quality there. This is the football club we're at. We need loaned players. We need to get young boys through the system, and we need to. I think in time, the club will look to come away from the last day of the window panic buys, as such, that cost maybe more than we should. So I think we're trying to be really proactive in the transfer market in the summer, and that's already started. And it's about convincing people to come to this football club because it's a good environment. So people that are falling out of first teams, that have maybe had down on their luck, been in academies, guys that have maybe had a bad turn in their life that's affected them, I think we've got to be that club that comes and gives a safe environment to go and perform and be a footballer. For instance, you look at we've got the boys for the Irish League. Ronan Coughlin tried it when he was younger, never quite worked, came back into the building, he's been one of the best professionals we can find. So it's about finding these wee rough diamonds and nurturing them. Hopefully not for too long, because obviously you need to win football matches, but it's certainly the club we're trying to rebuild from that point of view in terms of smaller salaries, etc., compared to what we've been paying before, and giving people opportunity, and I keep saying it, a safe environment to go and kind of harvest a career.
Going into this Northampton game, how do you help the players cope with the pressure that comes with what's required now for the rest of the season?
The players have been under pressure since we've come in. They've been in the bottom 4 all season, so nothing changes. And what is pressure? Taking a touch and passing it to a teammate, that's not pressure. Pressure's not in a job. Pressure's not being to feed your kids. That's pressure. That's, we've got first world problems. So no, I don't see that being an issue. You can only control what you can control, which is what we do on the training pitch, what we do in preparation for a game, and then the players trusting each other, that word again, trust, when they go over that white line, that if somebody makes a mistake, the system will protect them. This is why we do what we do as coaches. The system mitigates against individual error. So it's, I wouldn't say there's any more pressure on than normal.
How do you see the situation then with so few games left and a lot to do?
Yeah, it's ominous. It's enormous. it's something that we're not going to shy away from. But on the flip side of that, I can say we win on Saturday, you could be 3 points behind before 3 games to go. So miracles happen in football, and we've got to prepare and hope and see it and feel it that it's going to happen, and we'll take it at 3 o'clock on Saturday. The good thing is that on Tuesday we turned up at kick-off. 2 games before it we turned up at 3:45, and it's hard enough to score goals in 90 minutes, never mind 45. So yeah, I see a good group there. We had a good recovery day, the ones that never played, and got a wee blast in their legs, and we'll be ready to go against Saturday.
Just in terms of the squad, how are the injuries looking now? You had Junior Katerna and Callum Dolan back on the bench the other night, which is obviously a huge boost for you.
Yeah, 2 positives. Callum and Junior trained really well today again, which is good. I think Callum's now ready to be considered to start games. Whether he does or not, that's up to the manager. And Ronan Coughlin's just probably a wee week to 10 days away. I think losing him was a massive blow to our chances of staying up. Considering, you know, he was playing in Ireland not so long ago, he's really taken to professional football, and he's a poster boy for any manager on how to prepare, how to train, attitude. And we've got a lot of the boys, you know, I'm not just highlighting him, I could highlight 10. And it's about focusing on good pros versus focusing on maybe ones that aren't as professional, you know, in general in football. And we've got to focus on who's doing it right and crediting them. That's what I see it.